looking after my...
Mr. Kimball, what is your current opinion
No
on this?
pictures right now. No pictures right now. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a little different than we were at the Princess. In my book, it's already better. When I was little, it occurred to me that I took this place called Wyoming for granted. And one of my favorite songs is by a guy named Mark Broussard, and it is a song called Paradise. And there's a line in the song, and it says, "I never knew when I was young that I would want to show this place to each and every one." And I remember, because it's like my ultimate road tripping music, for whatever reason, it's like the only thing that just stays downloaded on every device that I have. So when I inevitably lose service, it always just starts playing that album. And I remember the first time that I got that line for what it meant. And I need you guys to understand, from the way that we're going to be doing this retreat, it's much more of a community affair. Instead of the, hey, let's do like the bougie, we're going to, give you reach arounds and all of that stuff. And, we have to start building deep relationships with one another. And so, for everyone just jumping in and helping my mom cook, I appreciate it. It'll be expected that we, help out with dishes and we keep it clean together. Because at the end of the day, that's what it really is all about, is what are we doing together? And so this one, we're going to have games. I have gotten clearance, and I've found out from the property owners that behind cabin 5, we can shoot into the meadow. And Conrad will not be holding a loaded firearm, so... Sometimes I know that you're scared and afraid. You're waiting for that mountain to move, but that mountain, it's waiting on you. It said it's time, y'all. It's time for you to. It's time for us to. Won't you just? Can you please? I want you to. Can you just? I think we can believe and just have faith and just one step in you. I want to move. I got to move. Believe me, I move. Trying perfection I have, but always out of grasp. But leaning on love, faith, and trust, I now know that I am more than enough. What can I do to get to move? Go.
Let's go ahead, am I right? You are right. Go ahead and grab your seats, guys.
So I stayed quiet to see if I could hear another pig first. And then I didn't. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if they're staying quiet to see if they can hear them. So then I'm like, I better make some pig noises. And I think I'm the only one. And so I did 4 or 5, and then I'm like, okay, there's nobody else responding.
Let's all
came like a thief in the night, without warning or sign. Who am I? Why am I? What am I supposed to do? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm not feeling good. When my mind acts up and I don't know who to be, go this way, that way, ain't feeling strong. 'Cause the days and nights are so damn long. And I take one more step, and I'll take one more breath. I've got so much more to give, and so much life to live. I will prevail. I will set sail.
My God invented winches.
Can you feel the life building inside? We must prevail. I must, you must, we must. We gotta, we will, we need to prevail. Yeah. I will prevail. God, I've been wondering why do I have to fight so damn hard? Day in, day out, my ups, my downs, I pull myself up. 'Cause I know I have it in me, so I'm gonna fight day in, day out. I'm gonna ride through ups and downs. 'Cause life happens for you, not do you. Can't steal my spirit. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I will prevail through thick and thin. I will prevail. I will prevail. I will set sail.
So it's like, yeah, let me just see. I pull out my phone to see if there's a McDonald's, and I'm like, oh my God. And you know that feeling, like that panic feeling? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You do the pat down, and it's like, I don't have my phone. And so I pull over, and I drop my bag, and I start digging through it. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone. And not just my phone. I keep my driver's license and my credit card in the back of my phone. So I don't have anything.
So my response is, yes, you do. Please have it. She doesn't. So we have to get into problem solve mode. There's no sense in, crying about it. So I use my phone and I call her phone.
I did cry, though.
I wasn't sure, we didn't know where it was. We weren't sure if it was at the apartment we had just left 2 hours ago, if it was, dropped it behind us, if someone had picked it up at security, cab, who knew? So we called it to see who would answer. And sure enough, someone answered. And they speak Russian and I understand English. So I have to run through the airport and find someone who can translate. So I find someone and she says, the guy on the other end is a cab driver. He says he has your phone and he's got a customer in the back. He has to bring them to Moscow. It's over an hour back and then an hour coming back to the airport. He said he'd bring it for us, but we had a flight to catch, so we had to go. So we tell the lady this, and she relays the information to the driver, and we say, can you, by chance, we're coming back through this airport in 4 days. We've got to stop over. We're going to Sochi for 4 days, but we're going to be back here and on the way to the next location. And he says, yeah, I can bring it in 4 days. And I say, okay, cool, that's awesome. And he said, just message me when you're leaving, and text me when you're gonna be there. So we leave Moscow feeling not great about not having our phone, credit card, and driver's license, but also a certain level of comfort that we know who has it and that there's a bit of a plan in place that we're gonna get it back in 4 days.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. So we spend the 4 days in Sochi. It was great. And then as we're leaving Sochi, I message the driver and tell him that everything's on time. We're going to be landing at such and such a time. Looking forward to seeing you with that phone. And so I turn off my phone and we take off. And when I land, I get a message from him. I turn on my phone and there's a message from him waiting for us. And it says, I'm not coming. I'm not working today. I'm not coming. And I message him back with, but
what about the plan?
But you have our phone, so what's the plan there? What are we gonna do? And so he immediately calls me. Shockingly, in the last 4 days, I have not learned Russian, so I still have to go around look for somebody else that can translate this call. And I find another lady, and she says, yeah, he says that he's not coming, but he's willing to meet you at such and such a train station in Moscow to give you your phone. And he says, you're going to bring a gift. It's like, okay. So in the previous conversation with the other lady, I forgot to mention that we did offer to pay him his round-trip fare out to bring us the phone. So I think what he's thinking is that we're still paying him for that, but not making the trip. So we obviously, random train station in Moscow, meeting some guy that I don't really know and exchanging money for goods doesn't...
Sketchy. Super sketchy.
It doesn't feel really good, so... plus, we just don't have time anyway. It's a huge round trip, and we have another flight going. So we have to change our strategy a little bit. We can't deal with the driver anymore. He's not going to be super helpful. So we reach out to the company that we took the taxi with, and I emailed them and said, here's the situation. Can you help us out? And then we turned off our phone and took our next flight. Later that afternoon, a few hours later, they actually did respond and said, we will work with the driver, we'll see what we can do, and we'll see if we can get that phone. If we can get it for you, where would you like it sent? And so we gave them the address for our hotel in St. Petersburg, because we had, 4 or 5 days. And
we had 6 days in St. Petersburg. It was our last stop, so it was the most reasonable.
It gave them enough time to get the phone and get it to us without having to ship it across the world to get it to us in Canada. We just thought that'd be easier. So we continue with the rest of our trip. I think we were 10, 12 days without this phone. Super stressful. Anyways, so then we get to the hotel in St. Petersburg, and we're like, this is probably not going to be there. But, well, let's see. So we check in, and we ask them, is there a package here for us? And the clerk is like, doesn't have a clue what we're talking about. He starts looking through cupboards and drawers and comes back, and he gives us an envelope. And in the envelope is a phone with a credit card, a driver's license, and a little leather-bound notebook with a pen and a card saying, thank you for your business and thank you for your trust. It was like, not that we had much choice in the matter, but we was appreciative. And we tell you that story, I think, because...
Oh, no, sorry.
We tell you that story because it was all it's all about our relationships and how we got the best possible outcome we could have hoped for coming out of Russia. We got the paperwork we needed that we were super worried about, that we weren't going to be able to leave the country.
We got to leave the country. That was cool.
We're here, so we did get to leave the country, yeah. In fact, they never even asked for that freaking paperwork. Nobody asked for it.
On a sea of light, drifting on the waves of who I wanna be. But somehow all I see is what they think of me. I don't know what to believe. Are my dreams that out of reach? Whoa. So I drift on with everybody else in the dark now, searching for a paradise. Blinded by our own fears, but my heart says I can't stay here. Gotta change course, look at what's inside. Wash away the doubt, wash away the lies. Gotta have faith if I'm gonna fly, 'cause everything I want's on the other side. Oh, sailing to the possible. But I need to believe it, and when the path's not clear to see it, all I need to know, to know, to know. I'm a lighthouse, lighthouse. I'm a lighthouse. Ooh. Maybe I made a mistake, 'cause I've been sailing for a while. Did I start too late? Was everything they said the truth? Should I turn around and lay my wants into the ground? Let it all fade without a sound. But I sail on, knowing that the tides may change, but I'm gonna find my prodigal. I refuse to stop, I won't fold, and free the shackles from my soul, and live a life of dying for. Oh, gotta stay the course, trust what's inside. Turn away the doubt, block out all the lies. Gotta have faith if I'm gonna solve.
Raise your hand if you've ever had this happen. You read somebody's copy, you read marketing, you're like, they must have been talking to me, because it resonates. Guess what they were using? Empathy. They were showing you, sitting next to you, that they understand exactly where you are, why it hasn't worked, and that you can follow them out of that path. That is what allows them to really pull you in, to make you feel seen, heard, understood in a way that immediately and very quickly builds a ton of trust with them, right? So, how do you build empathy, right? So it's one of those things that a lot of people think about. Well, just be more empathetic. It's not that easy. One of the things that I realized that kind of is somewhat of, I guess you could call a superpower for me, is I have a lot of empathy. I always have since a very young age. But how you go about using that in your marketing is very different than kind of having a natural proclivity towards it. And I've had to work on it too. I'm not always the most empathetic person. I am very human, and I can get just as pissed off as everybody else. It happens. We're all human in here, I hope. And so, well, how do you build empathy if it's not something that you feel like you have a natural tendency towards? And how do you use it in your marketing? Well, it comes down to one thing: doing great quality research so that you can understand the person that you're talking to just as well, if not better, than sometimes they understand themselves. And that's really, really powerful. And it's one of the things that, I think I've mentioned it a couple different times when I've been talking or, in private conversations with people, is the value of research. And I didn't even actually understand why this worked as well as it did until literally I had that epiphany sitting over there and scrapped everything else pretty much that I was going to talk about and changed the direction that it was going.
believe, like how many times is it that, someone who's a leader or a speaker of something like this would say, hey, come and see like where I grew up.
When I was young, looking up to everyone, 'cause that's the only way people would see me, looking down on me and my family. Then I made a decision.
Cows everywhere. I'm inching up the road, literally inch by inch, around these cows, on a way to a minor explosion.
Cause your dreams to slumber, but here's a secret that you don't know. You can change your stars though, but you gotta believe, then you will achieve. With a little action, wise actions repeat. Just go to war. Gotta go to war. Every time I think it gets too hard, I remember I can change my star.
Mr. Kimball, what is your current opinion?
No pictures right now. No pictures right now.
Everything that's in my heart. This is my war cry. Wise actions repeated. It's been all that I needed. I've been at war. I've been at war. And now that I'm older, I'm trying to be wiser. I'm opening that door, picking open that door. I've been at battle for so long. Ooh, everything started to feel wrong.
I'm destroying the limiting belief that I have to be in control of everything at all times.
Shoot it.
My limiting belief is I'm not enough, and I'm gonna kill it.
My limiting belief is I can't, don't, won't, and never follow through. And I'm gonna kill it.
My limiting belief is that I'm not worthy of love and friendship.
I don't believe I can create a successful business, and that stays right here for the last damn time in Wyoming.
I don't feel worthy to share my story. Imposter syndrome.
And that's some bullshit.
My limiting belief is that I'm indecisive, and I'm gonna destroy that belief.
I care too much, and I just don't think I'm smart enough.
Limiting belief is that vulnerability is a weakness.
And you're gonna destroy it.
And we're gonna do not put that.
My limiting belief is that I'm not good enough.
Limiting belief is that I can't comprehend higher learning. All right, my limiting belief is I'm not good enough to create my own content, and I'm going to destroy that shit.
Belief is that I have to overwork to succeed.
My limiting belief, I will not be defined by labels anymore.
My limiting belief is that I'm not worthy.
My limiting belief is that quitting is never an option.
My limiting belief is that I'm just not good enough for what I'm doing right now. And I'm gonna destroy that.
My limiting belief is that I'm not making a big enough impact so I should quit speaking.
It's the final percent. The final percent.